All right, so I got my 2009 Legacy here. I bought the car with transmission problems. Put a transmission in it. While I had it out, I resealed head gaskets, everything on the motor. It was starting to leak a little bit. I found on one of the throttle body hoses, the coolant hoses down there on that side, there was a hole in it, which had caused it to overheat before. That's why it was leaking. So I fixed that, resealed head gaskets and put it back in, and it hadn't overheated on me, but I was losing coolant. Now, this was coolant that when I would drive it, it would disappear. It wasn't leaking anywhere. I've let it sit and idle for almost an hour, checked every point on the entire motor, under the motor chassis. I checked. You can see I even got my makeshift Coke bottle coming out of the drain for the heater core to make sure that wasn't leaking. I still got to remove that. Couldn't find anything. So what I did is I went and rented this from O'Reilly's. It is a pressure tester kit. Now, I should have done this in the first place, but I didn't want to pay the money. Got something on the receipt. It's $167 after tax and everything, which you get back if you return it within 24 hours. I kept the damn thing because I can use it on all my other vehicles, or if I ever have this problem on something else. But I didn't want to spend the money. Even though you get it back, I knew I'd probably end up keeping it. So finally I broke down and bought the tool, pressurized it to 16 pounds, waited about a minute and a half, and I started to notice a little bit of coolant right here on top of the timing cover. This is all from me pulling the hose now. Just a couple drops at a time, enough to where it was evaporating while I was driving, so I had no leak that was visible. I sat here idling, never dripped there. I checked everywhere, numerous times. So once I pressurized it, cold, full of coolant, I saw a leak there. So these are definitely worth the investment. Also, I went to replace the clamp because it has one of these bastard clamps, is what I call them, also known as spring clamps, whatever the hell they're called. There's a special tool to get them off, but I just use channel locks, and they like to shoot out of there, so careful when you open the pliers back up to release them. Anyway, so while I was cleaning up, took a Scotch-Brite, pad to this to make sure it was nice and clean, started to clean up this side, and I noticed see that pitting there? I felt it when I was feeling this. I felt a little, so it was leaking under the clamp and through the rubber out right there, and that's right where it was dripping too. So I'm gonna clean it up real good and clamp it back here. This is where you're supposed to clamp it. But I'm gonna clamp it back here until I can pull this intake and replace the coolant crossover pipe. But just, you know, something that stupid. And I spent hours on this thing trying to find this leak before I invested in that. 5 minutes. Spend the money, get one. And check your connections well.